You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream. This is AfterBuzz TV for America's Next Top Model. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest America's Next Top Model news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for America's Next Top Model.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jackie Moran, and I am being joined by one of my favorite co-hosts, Mari Fagel. How you doing, Mari?
One of your favorites? Jackie, I thought I was your favorite.
I know. Well, I didn't want to make everybody else in the AfterBuzz community feel bad, but that's pretty much what I was going for, Mari. You know that by now. We're partners in crime here.
Well, Jackie, you are obviously my favorite co-host, but I wish Brittany Brower was joining us tonight, only because I totally know what she would say had she been able to join us. And, I tweeted at her, and I hope she'll tweet back during this show, because I know what she was thinking, which is what I was thinking. Tyra was ridiculous, totally ridiculous in tonight's episode. Oh, my God, I could not stand it.
This was certainly one of the most unique episodes of America's Next Top Model's history. All 17 seasons, of course. We're in episode 8 of America's Next Top Model All-Stars. And if Tyra Banks was anything but crazy on the episode, she's tweeting like crazy as well. And she actually called tonight's episode, Mari, her favorite episode possibly ever. One of her favorite episodes ever. So it goes to show, you thinking she's crazy happy and crazy excited about this episode. And I have to say, this was one of the most entertaining episodes. Rather than the typical photo shoot, the girls engaged in a complete head-to-toe music video shoot. And we have so much to talk about from top to bottom, with writing the song themselves, recording the song, and, of course, performing the song with a video shoot directed by Game. So, Mari, as you said, I tried to keep it politically correct, because our girl Brittany Brower from All Stars brings us so many great opinions, and I thought the same thing. I can't believe we don't have her joining us tonight, but we will definitely do our best, and we'll get I'm sure, some tweets from Brittany. But let's get right into it, starting with, of course, a wrench being thrown into it right away, with the girls having to write the lyrics to a song in 20 minutes or less. I don't know about you, but I would be freaking out, because these girls are models now. This episode and the whole season is based on branding and doing all sorts of different challenges that branded in empire women would do, but not every woman who runs an empire is a singer, and a songwriter, no less. So you have to give these girls a little, cut them a little bit of slack, although I have to say I think they all did a good job. This was definitely could have set a lot of girls up for disaster. I don't know what you think, Mari, but how do you feel if you're not necessarily a singer-songwriter and you're being given the challenge to write a song in 20 minutes?
I feel like they had to have had some help that we did not see on camera, because they all wrote pretty catchy, pretty good songs, and none of them, except for Lisa, actually have a musical background. So I don't know, either they had some help that we didn't see, or they all happen to be talented songwriters. I mean, the only thing is, I will have to say, I know Alexandria thinks she's just the most talented. She was killing me tonight. Oh, my God. I was laughing so hard. Alexandria just thought that her shit didn't stink. She thought she was, like, the best thing ever, and I just thought it was hilarious.
I know. There really were a couple of moments of hilarity for me. Angela being another one at many points. But, as far as starting things off with the writing of the song, Allison, from the beginning, the second they announced this, I was set up to believe that Allison was going to totally crumble. And I even, she went, "Oh, I don't sing." She was hysterical, crying at points. But just from the very get-go, you see her having a hard time, freaking out. She finally ends up saying she's going to write a song about her father who passed away. At this point, I had thought Allison, we all know how it's going to go, and we're going to get to it. But during the songwriting portion, I thought Allison was, at this point, the weakest. And boy, did that change quickly. What did you think, Mari?
I was so nervous in the beginning because I always I noticed that in the beginning of episodes, whoever they seem to be featuring a lot in the confessionals, whoever seems to have this story arc, it's usually not good news. Like, you saw her struggling. She didn't want to do it. It was about her dad. I was getting so nervous that my favorite, Allison, was like, something was going to happen. She was going to fumble. And so I just thought, thank God that story arc ended up being a good one and not a bad one, because usually it's the other way around.
Right. And now at this point, they, just from this beginning challenge, they did name a winner. We didn't get to see too much of their song at this point, but we saw them working with, of course, somebody from CBS Records, Tom Polchi, I believe was his name, if I'm pronouncing that correct. And he called out Lisa and Angela for being the most standout as far as writing the song. And, of course, Lisa, La Puccinetta, hello, Brittany Brower talks about it all the time, was named the winner. And Lisa basically was saying this whole episode, like, I have to kill this episode. This is my thing. I need to prove myself here. So, of course, Lisa off to a good start, winning the challenge. And I don't know, I wish Brittany were here because she's such good friends with Lisa. I'm sure you agree that Lisa, I think, deserved to win this portion anyway from what we saw.
Yeah, Lisa blew it out of the water, and she wrote a great song. It's super catchy. The one time I actually agreed with Tyra was when she was like, I keep singing. I'd be like, whoa, like, it definitely is very, very catchy. So I give Lisa props there.
Yes, absolutely. And her video was leaked. We reported it last week on our show by E! News. So we knew Lisa was coming into this episode with a leg up. Some surprising turn of events, though, as the episode went on. And, of course, we got to the recording studio where they had another wrench thrown in. They had to incorporate Pot Leadum, which is, we all know by now, top model spelt backwards, into their song.
Oh, my God. If I never have to hear Pot Leadum again, I will be the happiest girl alive. That was the dumbest thing I have ever seen, and that's why I'm going to fill in for Brittany here, because Brittany, I love her. She usually comes off as bitter Brittany because there's something about, the episode that she doesn't like. I was dying. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. These girl songs were good. They didn't need some random thing, and it's like Allison's song was about her father, and she had to sing Pot Leadum, top model spelled backwards. Like, it's the most idiotic thing I have ever heard. And just like last week, how Brittany was saying the fact that these girls had to dress up as reality stars was belittling their brand and belittling them, having them have to sing Pot Leadum is belittling. Like, demeaning. Like, I wish Brittany were here because I know she'd be on the same page. It totally frustrated me and offended me as a viewer. It's like, we don't need these girls to be saying pot leadum. Like, it was already such an entertaining episode that took away from it, and it ruined all these girls' songs to have to even include that. And I know we're not talking about Tyra's appearance yet, but at least the fact that she made them put that lyric in, I thought was totally ridiculous and laughable.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You almost like Lisa, I think. Her song, which, we'll get to, she's quirky, she's crazy energy. Like, maybe she did a great job of incorporating it. But you're right. Like, some of these girls did an amazing job. Whether they had help or not, we're not sure, because they just did that good. And here we go, like getting a Tyra-ism getting thrown in the mix. But, I get it. She wants to, throw things at them. This is a reality show at the end of the day. And I have to say, some of them did, with this ridiculous kind of challenge thrown in, some of them did a very good job with mixing it in and having it not sound totally ridiculous. Now, I want to take to Twitter just for a second, because as you said, how can these girls work it in? You know who is Twitter crazy, Mari, is Coco Rocha. Ever since her appearance on Top Model, I think she's taken it upon herself to be the official top model, top tweeter. And she actually tweeted her thoughts on Pot Leadum. She said, Coco Rocha tweeted, "They have to write a song using Top Model backwards? Pot Leadum?" She, in quotes, wrote, "Don't beat them, just feed them and lead them to freedom, pot lead them." So that was Coco Rocha's take on it. She tried to mix it in there. But how do you think she did with that, Mari?
But I think that was a cute lyric, but only because she mixed it in there. She knew that she had to use that first, and then she wrote it. Allison wrote a song about her father, and a sad, nice song, and then had to include the words pot leadum after the fact. It's if they had known in the beginning that they had to include that, then I would have written a song around that. But some of these girls were writing, Shannon's song was about her husband. What the hell does pot leadum have to do with a love song about your husband? The fact that they were told after the fact that it was included just made it even more disconnected. I love how tonight so much of Tyra's judging was, the video was so disconnected from the song. That lyric was so disconnected from everyone's song, and her appearance was so disconnected.
Yeah, no, I definitely think the lyric was actually maybe even a harder challenge than writing a song in 20 minutes. I'm sure you're with me on that, but as far as the recording studio goes, after they found that out, who do you think, Mari, did a good job from what we saw? Because recording and making the video, which is the visual portion, are two totally different things. And I just want to mention for a second, Shannon, because I think that as her first couple of lyrics came out, I was like, oh, poor Shannon. But I loved her attitude. And I know we said a mix of things, but let me just, document. I think Shannon is beautiful, so sweet. She is a good role model, despite whatever drama she gets caught up in these episodes. But I loved her attitude here. She says she's not the best singer, but she's going to have fun with it and make everyone think that she is. And I love that from Shannon. She wasn't sounding the best, but she definitely had, for me, a great attitude. And I also, of course, Allison starts singing, and I'm agreeing with Angelique. She's good at singing too, damn it. This girl is so artistic and talented and weird, crazy, beautiful. That's what I tweeted. She pulled off weird, crazy, beautiful. For me, Dominique and Laura, I wasn't sure how to take them. Lisa called Laura tone deaf. And then there's Alexandria, who thought you're right, Mari, thought her shit didn't stink, thinks she's going to be a recording artist in time. Where do you stand on her, Mari?
She was just ridiculous. She was terrible, and it's always more embarrassing when you think you're really good and you're actually the worst. I totally agree with you about Shannon. She knew she wasn't a great singer, but she was like, you know what? I'm not the best. I'm just going to have fun. And I actually liked the song. I loved the video. I thought it was very, like, Faith Hill reminiscent. And I just thought Alexandria, no. There's a reason she was voted off. And there's a reason why I called that she was going to be voted off 20 minutes into the episode.
Yes, you did. You called it on Twitter. And, before we head out of that recording studio scene, I do have to say Lisa showed her muscle in the music industry. She really owned it, whether it was her being the best or just being the most confident, thought she owned this challenge, and she did for the most part. She really did, as Shannon said. I think she did a good job of showing that she can, of all of the women, I think, left on the season, I do think she can be a recording artist. She is a recording artist in her own right with La Puccinetta, and I do think she owned this recording studio scene.
Yeah, I mean, she's a great rapper. That's very rare to find a woman who can rap, like, other than Nicki Minaj, and I thought she did a really damn good job.
Yes, I totally agree, and we need some tweets from Lisa, Brittany Brower, any of the all-stars to chime in with us. I'll read them as we talk along here if anyone tweets us on Twitter here. But so moving on, because Lisa won her challenge, let's just take a little moment, get personal here with Lisa and her honey bear, Adam. We know she was getting married. She's been through a lot, Lisa. Coming into this season, Mari, we can't forget she was on Celebrity Rehab. She had the crazy girl image, which she still is holding on to, obviously. Someone lost their house in their family, I believe. Definitely lots of stuff going on with Lisa. But you know what? She seemed really cute with her hubby-to-be, Adam. And I thought that was kind of nice to see. What did you think about them?
I think that them as a relationship is exactly how she explained it. She's a loud, crazy one. He's quiet, more organized and calm. And I know she's been through a lot. She was on Celebrity Rehab. So I hope that this works out for them.
I definitely hope so, and you're right. Opposites attract. Oh, my gosh. If anybody seems her opposite, it seems like this Adam here. So I give him total credit because I'm sure they really are on different ends of the spectrum, but that is probably why they work. I know my boyfriend and I are kind of like that. And so that was a cute moment. Do you think the other girls were a little jealous that she got some personal alone time?
I mean, at least Shannon was. Because she said she wished she had won the challenge so that she could see her husband. I know Dominique has children, so I bet you the other girls were pretty envious.
I'm sure. I mean, you can't forget, guys, that they are going through, I believe it's a couple of months of not being able to see anybody in their family. That's really hard. And, of course, I've been part of a reality show. I know how that goes. I was lucky I didn't have to stay all the time, but even just our hours that we kept, it's definitely, no matter what we say about these girls, it's definitely a hard road for them. They get put through these total twists and turns, and so nice moment here, a little personal moment with Lisa. Of course, of all people, Lisa, the crazy one, has sort of this touching moment. But then it was on to the video shoot, and Jay was rocking the tunes in his car already. And I just have to stop and say for a minute, I really do think that as crazy as Tyra was, as crazy as everything was, I do agree with Tyra's tweet that I think we see so many photo shoots, and of course, I love watching photo shoots, being someone that takes part in photo shoots, but I really loved this whole challenge, and again, I'm amazed by what these girls put together. I want to say they didn't have help just because that would make it so much better, and they do pride themselves. I met some of the cast, some of the judges. They do pride themselves on being truly a real reality show. So just Jay grooving to the tunes in his car. They got to record a song, write a song. This is just a cool episode. Don't you agree, Mari?
Oh, I thought it was a totally cool episode. I loved it, which is why I was even more infuriated that Tyra put in these stupid things like Hot Leadum and her appearance with that viral video kid who I don't know who that is. because the episode in itself I thought was so entertaining. I absolutely loved watching it.
I know, I really did too, and that, by the way, Keenan Cahill, I know who he is plainly because so aptly a week or two ago, Tyra had a viral video with Keenan, and I can't remember if she was in that outfit, which would make sense because they would have filmed it that day, but I don't think she was. She must have filmed it separately. And so, of course, it makes sense now that video came out. But Tyra did come out with a big video, and that's how in searching news and gossip for our listeners, I came across the video, and knowing that this episode was coming up, I figured, it all makes sense now. But that's how I know who Keenan Cahill is. And he does have millions and millions and millions of views, which is pretty amazing for like this little guy. That's what this episode is all about, being a YouTube sensation, and he actually is one. So that's fine for me. But we get to the video shoot, and the girls, of course, freak over Game being the director, and I kind of like him. He's kind of like a cool guy.
Hot.
He's hot, right? I mean, he's totally not my type with the tattoos and everything, and totally the opposite of my boyfriend, and I'm sure he's listening to me from the other room being like, thanks a lot, but Game is hot. I'm going to say it. He is. And so I'm glad you agree with me on that, Mari. But you know who is also hot? Dominique. I thought Dominique was Tuccia Booty. They were comparing her to Beyonce. I think Game came up with Jayonce, a mix of J-Lo and Beyonce. I mean, that's a huge compliment. Her voice was good. She was looking gorgeous. She was tripping over everything, but she owned it still. And I thought that was funny where they're like, stop dipping. And she's like, well, I'm not really dipping, I'm falling. But I totally love Dominique. She was like a superstar all of a sudden.
No, I love Dominique, and she is really doing really well this season. And she was very tranny-like in her season, but she is looking beautiful and gorgeous this season, taking great photos, always doing a really good job. The problem is she's very underrated. She always does a good job, but not the number one job. And so when there's people like Lisa and Allison who are both so like crazy in their own respects, Dominique always kind of flies in under the radar. I wouldn't be surprised if she makes top 3. I really wouldn't. I don't know if I see her going all the way because she's a little bit not as loud as other ones on the show, like loud personality-wise. But I think she's gorgeous, and I think she was totally great in her video. She was hot.
She was hot, and she looked hot standing in the judging portion of the show as well. I thought she looked awesome. She really like caught my eye actually in the judging portion. And I see what you're saying, Mari, but I actually think as I'm watching her, if these judges are smart, which I think they are, they're going to pick up on her. And like even a Shannon who went to the top 2 in her season, sometimes the quiet ones, like these dark horses almost really emerge. I could see Dominique at this point being top 2 because I really think that she is slowly killing it. She's silently blowing everyone away. She's not getting the major spotlight right now, but she is blowing me away. I am not forgetting about Dominique. Week to week, I think she is slowly taking over as one of my favorites. And I really do hope that I see where you're worried, Mari, but I actually have hopes for her at this point to really go far, even top 2 for me.
I mean, I really think she's going to go far, but that's why I think she's going to go far, because she keeps coming in under the radar. It's like she keeps making it, and then I think she's one of those people who might like make a big push at the end.
I really hope so. Right now, I'm calling it that she is one of my favorites. I'm just like, I'm so surprised because I have to keep talking about it for a second because I'm really she's somebody that going into the season, I really did not have any affinity for her. I didn't get to watch her season, so I thought she's good, but she is blowing me away week after week. And so for somebody who's not even, like, biased towards Dominique, I'm loving her right now. I think she's doing amazing. I mean, there's, of course, some strong personalities from Lisa to Allison, who's, like, weird, crazy girl. But you know what? Strong personality. Let's not forget, like, Bianca. They're gone. So, you know, you never know. I am having high hopes for Dominique. But let's talk about a couple of girls that I think were like the sweet, innocent Disney stars of the episode. Very Selena Gomez, very Miley Cyrus, and that's Shannon and Laura. To me, they were like my blonde, sweet girls. There was Shannon with her World Go Round, and I actually really like the Faith Hill comparison from Game. I think that was a good call. She was reminding me so much of someone, and he hit it on the head. She was like a Disney version of Faith Hill. And then there was the sweet girl, sweet Laura, perfect. Like I could see her being so Miley Cyrus. You know, not Miley Cyrus now, but when she was first Hannah Montana. They were like almost competing for me because they felt very similar in their video styles. Between the two, Shannon and Laura, how did you feel about each sweetie this week?
Laura, I really liked her video. She's lovable. Her brand. She is lovable. And I really liked Shannon's video. I know the judges really had a problem with it and with her eyes. I thought she was very Faith Hill. And I thought Laura was like a mix of Katy Perry and Taylor Swift, like just lovable.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that they weren't you knew neither video was going to win, but I have to say for Laura, she really nailed that sort of just commercial, like Disney-esque. I really was almost a little surprised because I know, Mari, you sometimes don't like her in her photo shoots because she doesn't come off maybe so high fashion, or, you know, however you put it, that you're never really a true Laura fan. But this is an example of someone who may not be the strongest, maybe high fashion model, but for a personality season and a commercial viable type of look, I think Laura really comes on strong and came on strong this week. How are you feeling? I mean, I know you're not the hugest Laura fan.
She's lovable. She's always lovable. And so I don't think she's a strong model. I just don't. I don't see her being a high fashion model. I just don't see that. But she's definitely lovable, and she definitely has, like, you know, a fun, infectious personality that you'd want to be around. It just depends on what they're looking for. But I don't think she's a top model. She's more of like a top host, a top personality, not a model.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's a good commercial model because there is a difference. There's the girls you see on like the Nivea commercial or the potato chips commercial, and I think Laura's perfect for that. So I don't want to discount her and say she's not a model. She's definitely, I wouldn't say she's Italian Vogue, but you know what? As coming from the business, I have to say you do make quite a bit of money for being sort of that lovable, likable, totally commercial girl. And it presents itself as a challenge maybe in the beginning of the career, but certainly helps you as far as sustainability. Because the more high fashion you are, like an Allison, kind of lose excitement, I think, much quicker in the business. And so I think Laura and even Shannon as well have that great commercial look to them. And I love that they pulled out these videos because you had, you know, we're going to get to the two sort of crazier, more energy, kooky ones, which are Lisa and Allison, which to me were kind of the top two this week. Well, they were the top two, winner and runner-up. But, you know, I think there's something to be said for Shannon and Laura. I really like their style, and I'm glad it came through. But let's talk about the winner of this week's challenge, Allison, and then we're going to kind of cover Lisa, who's the runner-up. Allison, can we talk about Allison? The eyes, the crying, looking kind of like crack, can I say, through 99% of this episode, and then pulling off this weird, crazy, beautiful. That's my kind of trending thing I'm doing on Twitter. How did she do this? I just am amazed by this girl. She's totally not my style. Here's Game, like totally falling in love with her, totally wanting to like hold on to her picture. The touching thing with her dad, pulling off this underwater feeling. You did feel like she was underwater. She's hitting you with those crazy eyes. She sounds pretty good. It's a moving song. I'm like wowed by this girl. Mari, where do you there are no words. I can't believe this Allison shocks me every week.
I'm always wowed by her. I mean, her song was great because it was like kind of just indie, and I don't know, she was great. The video was great, and she pulls off that weird, crazy, beautiful, like you said, so well. And this is why I think, well, this episode, Lisa's personality and her loud personality works. This is what I mean when I try to explain to Brittany that to be a brand, to be a big personality, you don't have to be loud and crazy and scream and party and kick your legs up. Allison is the exact opposite of Lisa, and she's just as memorable, just as much of a brand, and has just as much personality. But she is not doing the crazy thing. And to me, that's more impressive. You know, she doesn't have to rely on this, like, stage show to be a brand and to be memorable.
But here's my question about her. She's memorable, but is she likable? And that's the same question I have for Lisa, too, actually, all the time. But is she likable? Because one of the judges called out, not everybody's going to like this. I feel like, does she transcend like the way a Shannon or a Laura would to like a mass market, to a girl in the middle of Alabama? Is Allison likable to you?
I mean, I love her, so you're asking the wrong person. But I will say, I guess she doesn't appeal to the masses. She does kind of have that vampire-y, pale, creepy kind of thing going on about her, which I think some people might not get and just might think it was weird. I think she's lovable, but I could see maybe how some people wouldn't get that appeal.
Now, let's talk about her top competitor this week, the runner-up, which, by the way, I still can't believe with the whole way Allison was being set up this episode, I still can't believe she was named the winner of this challenge. I thought for sure they were leading us into the destruction of Allison, so totally shocking for me. But I think Lisa was probably the most shocked of anybody because I think she thinks she deserved to win. I don't know if you agree, Mari. I'm not sure. I think Allison was the most surprising. And as far as editing goes, they did a good job of making her very surprising. But I do think this was kind of Lisa's territory. Her video was leaked on E! News. She was called Missy Elliott, dynamic. You know, Game wanted it on his iPod. Go open for Lady Gaga. Was it too obvious? Could she not win yet again since she won the songwriting portion? What did you think? Did you think she deserved to win, or was she kind of like just short of Allison here?
I don't know. It's tough. It was a tough call because her and Allison both rocked it, but in totally, totally different ways. I mean, you're comparing like a pop rap song and this like indie, deep, dark song, and so I don't know. They were both great. It essentially seemed like a tie to me. You just have to say someone's number one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Lisa is really, if you look at it, she's really killing these challenges right now. She's really coming on strong. And that's why I'm so sad we don't have Brittany with us tonight. But I know we're going to get some great reaction from the All-Stars. She is really hitting her stride, if she ever is, in this season of All-Stars right now. Lisa if anybody looks strong to be at the end of this competition for me, it's Lisa. And as I said, I hope Dominique, because I'm really liking her right now as the less obvious choice. But
I'm calling it right now. Top 3 is Dominique, Lisa, and Allison.
I certainly hope so. My worry is if anybody kind of has like a week, let's say, they could go, and that's kind of a little scary. And for example, some girls who were very weak this week, Angeli, for someone who I thought was doing very well during the beginning half of this episode, totally went cheesy, flat, blank, dead, nothing worked. Game was like totally not having it, awkward, awful, and I thought, I don't know, Alexandria, we'll talk about her in a second, but Angeli was very weak for me here. How did you feel, Mari?
She was weak, but like Andre Leontali said, she always is willing to try and to work harder. And I don't know, she's kind of like lovable in her own respect. Like Laura is the Southern lovable. Angelia is like the ghetto lovable. Like she always gets so excited by all the stars. She was so excited by LaToya, so excited by the game. And it's kind of exciting to see someone who like gets that excited. And I think I don't know, some of the other girls, I don't know. I just think she's lovable in her own respect, and she always is willing to work and try hard. And yes, she didn't do great, but Alexandria was definitely worse.
It's funny you say that about her, Mari, because I do agree. Angeli, I kind of joke. I've imitated her before in the show, and I know you got a kick out of that. The thing is, though, you're right. She has a certain passion, and I think she really does take it seriously. I think she comes up short, but she really tries to recognize that, and I think Andre Leontali was the one tonight who called that out. She's constantly sort of watching herself and her progress and calling herself out and knowing what she has to work on and continues to want to work on it and has a genuine excitement for being there. So you're right. I do agree with you on that, Mari, for Angeli. She, these girls have never done a music video before of their own, and they're not musicians. They're not Beyonce. And so she was a little weak, but I do sort of have this soft side for her when she does try really hard and recognize what her faults were and says, sort of kind of saves herself by saying she's willing to work on them. And I think that's what saved her here. Or maybe it was the fact that, can we talk about Alexandria now? I've saved the worst for last. Well, maybe besides Tyra singing. Did you like Tyra singing in the opening of that judging? I love how she made fun of herself, being like, Mariah, don't hate. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, she had to have been doing that as a joke. If she actually thought she looked good there, then God help her. But I think she thought it was a joke, too. Like, I think she was making fun of herself.
No, yeah, and I love that. I love that she can sort of just, like, throw out some horrible notes and have fun with it. But someone who did not get away with anything tonight, and poor Alexandria was eliminated. She just, as Angelia said, she actually quoted herself on Twitter, saying that she loves, I think I lost the tweet, but she said, here it is. I love my commentary. Go, 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 and no, no, no. That was Angelia's commentary on Alexandria, and she was right. She looked beautiful. She had what sounded like it could be a good song when she wrote it, but as far as the recording studio into this video shoot, it only got worse. She looked so awkward. I think it was one of those things where if she thought she was doing more exaggerated movement than she was actually doing, I kind of see what she was going for with the shoulder thing and the moves, and she was trying to look like a little quirky, cool Lady Gaga-ish, but it just did not come through on camera. And I'm sure when she watched it back, she realized she needed to exaggerate it times 10. A little insider thing as a model, as someone who's been on television, when you think you're doing something, when it goes on camera, you need to exaggerate what you're doing by 10. And a video camera, even more than a photo shoot, because it just gets eaten by the camera. So a little inside tip there. I'm feeling a little like Coco Rocha right now. But Mari, what did you think of Alexandria? I know it's not going to be good here.
She was so awkward. She was robotic. Like, she didn't know how to move, and she always just had those downturned lips. And I don't know. I was over her. I was over her episodes ago. So at this point, I was just waiting for her to get kicked off. Finally, she was.
Right. Yeah, no, she was someone we thought was really great in the beginning, and I think she does have a lot of model potential, but she really did not bring as much as I thought she would to this season of All Stars. So that's what happened. She did seem pretty upset about getting sent home, and I do think she is a good model, but she just really kind of had a bad couple weeks, and that's what happened. We lost Alexandria tonight, but we definitely have much more to look forward to. I have some great news and gossip. We're going to read some tweets and, of course, predictions. So let's go to a quick commercial, and we'll be right back with all that.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on. AfterBuzz.
Well, I'm liking that new little trio of voices there, but we have some great news and gossip, so let's get right into it. America's Next Top Model is set to launch
AfterBuzz TV News.
Yes, there we go. I was waiting for that sound there. America's Next Top Model is set to launch a fragrance, surprise, surprise, and it's already set to make $10 million. According to the CW network, they have announced the launch of their own branded scent, and I guess you could see this coming with the theme of the fragrance challenge. But the perfume will be named A Dream Come True, and it's due to hit Target stores in January. It will be promoted by this series winner. While it may sound like the last thing you may want to spritz, everyone, the fragrance has already been tipped to make serious money, expected to generate $10 million in sales in its first year alone. Of course, they're worked with Pat's Beauty, who we saw on the episode for the fragrance challenge, and they will be, of course, manufacturing it. The firm's creative director, Ben Bennett, said it was inspired, get this, by the kind of feeling a girl might experience on learning that she has won the show. This is an exciting, heartfelt moment when you know for one of those girls their life is going to change. So we wanted to bring that to life, said Ben. This is something that anyone can relate to, and we are all always hoping for something. The perfume, which will be targeted at women in their mid-teens to early 30s, will have a fruity floral scent, including notes of red currant, pink freesia, peony, and vanilla. It will cost $12.99 for 30 milliliters and promises, hopefully, to be more successful than ANTM's last merchandising effort, a Walmart clothing line that unfortunately folded in 2008. So what do you think, Mari? Will you be spritzing Dream Come True?
I want Britney's perfume. She said hers is called, like, bitter, what was it called? Sweet Revenge. Right. I want that one.
Yeah, I know. I actually think the fragrance thing is very interesting, and I'm surprised America's Next Top Model hasn't come out with a fragrance, actually. So I wasn't too shocked by this news. And another piece of news that I actually was shocked by was the Lea Models Preview that we saw tonight during the episode. According to CW, modeling industry veteran Paul Fisher is planning to bring together hundreds of small agencies around the world in a new venture called The Network. The network will give Paul the leverage to challenge or change the industry from the inside out. He has two missions here: to make sure agents in small towns no longer get screwed, and to empower models to take control of their careers and lead healthier lives. Lea Models is coming from Fly on the Wall Entertainment and Sony Pictures, with producers from She's Got the Look, Plain Jane, You're Cut Off, I Want to Be a Hilton, etc. And so it premieres January 18th. To me, Mari, this sounds very similar to Scouted, that show that is coming out on E! Network. What do you make of all these model shows coming out now?
Well, do you remember a couple months ago, was it ABC or one of the news magazine show did a little segment on these models who are picked out of, middle of nowhere and taken to New York, and some of them get taken advantage of, and they're so young and they don't know anything. And I thought it was so fascinating and interesting, and I think that story did really well, so I'm not surprised that now these reality shows are following them. I think it's totally really interesting. So I'm excited to watch both of them.
Absolutely. I think the modeling industry is one which constantly is a fascinating industry. I know I've lived it, and it certainly fascinated me. And I think there's just a disconnect between what really happens in the real world of modeling versus what people see. And so I think it continues to be an interesting topic. I'm not sure how the folks at Next Top Model feel with all these shows coming out, but certainly very interesting crop of model shows here. But before we get into some predictions, I would like to just throw out a few viewer tweets, because I know we're all tweeting about the show. And guys, always tweet us at Jackie Moran, M. Fagel, AfterBuzz TV, DJ Jesse J, Brittany Brower. Any of those Twitter handles. We want to hear what you have to say about America's Next Top Model. And know you can always call us live on the show at 424-256-1729. But we love your interaction, and we have a few tweets here. Mrs. Sunshine wrote, Game is attracted to the most beautiful contestant, the true beauty inside and out. Yes, Allison and Game, gonna be hot couple. I don't know. Miss Sunshine is calling couple alert here. I don't know if they're going to go that far, Mari. What do you think?
We'll see.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a true couple, but he definitely liked her on tonight's show. iRock, dash and ENT, I'm guessing that stands for entertainment, said, without Miss Bree Scalark, Bianca Golden, or Miss Isis King, I no longer have a reason to watch ANTM. Yawn, kind of boring. The total opposite of my opinion of tonight, but I guess everybody has an opinion, right?
It wasn't boring, but I will say the Liam and Tyra's appearances were so annoying to me that I wanted to tune out those moments. But I loved the episode overall. I just wanted to, hit the, mute button and turn my screen black during those moments.
Well, that must have been when Butta Baby, another Twitter handle here, tweeted. She must have been on the same page with you, Mari, because she wrote, this week's ANTM is painful. So another kind of hater there. But Josh Squat wrote, I live for Allison Harvard. Different-looking girls are the most beautiful type of girls, in my opinion. I do agree with Josh. That is really what I think is good about Allison. As I asked that question, will people like her? And I like that response. I think that's why people will like her, because she's different. So good call on that, Josh. And let's just go to Coco Rocha again, because she is Twitter crazy, Mari. she tweeted multiple times during this episode, but I thought another funny tweet, speaking of potleadom, she tweeted, "We have an Asian restaurant across the street that makes an amazing bowl of potleadom." And that's a fact, apparently. So that was pretty funny.
We should get Coco Rocha on one of our AfterBuzz episodes. Let's tweet at her.
Absolutely. Everybody, if you want to see Coco Rocha on AfterBuzz TV, tweet her. Our Twitter handles, Jackie Moran, M. Fagel, and AfterBuzz TV, and request to have her on our show. I would love that. After the show, we will certainly be tweeting her. And for now, though, let's get into some predictions for next week.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Well, Mari, the girls are off. It seems they are heading to Greece, unless I saw that wrong, but I think they're going to be on location next week. And, of course, what comes up but Shannon and more underwear troubles? You know, I have to say, Mari, I feel bad for her because they are definitely doing this on purpose. I mean, they know she doesn't wear underwear. I have a feeling, I don't know this for a fact, but I have a feeling they're pushing her buttons a little bit. I'm worried that she might crack next week. What do you think, Mari? What do you predict for next week?
I mean, Brittany made it sound like they take like one element and then they blow it up, like, you know, this one thing with her underwear, they're taking it and they're running with it. So we'll see. I mean, I think it would be frustrating if they really are just over-exaggerating things. But if she continues to contradict herself, like, I don't know, I always find that a little weird. I have a feeling Shannon's going to be on the chopping block because whenever they usually, like, feature one person or kind of focus one person, like they did with Alice in the beginning of this episode, which is why I was worried, I always have a feeling that they're the one on the chopping block. And because Shannon has been, like, in the bottom two, close to the bottom two last couple episodes, or at least close to the bottom two, I just have a feeling she is going to be a story arc for next week's episode. And in terms of Greece, if it really is Greece, that would surprise me just because of everything that's going on there. To me, that would seem maybe a little dangerous or not the best choice, but I guess maybe anything to help kind of boost tourism there or boost, I don't know how much America's Next Top Model filming there would help, but it can't hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a surprising location, but I do have to say I actually have traveled there for modeling in the past. I mean, not given at this time frame in the economy and everything that's going on there, but it was, I don't know about right now, but it was a popular modeling location, so it would be very interesting. I wonder if I'll recognize anything, and I am so excited to meet everyone here again. We should be back at our regular time next Thursday at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern Standard Time. Hope to have Brittany Brower or Coco Rocha even join us, and some other special guests. So be sure to stay tuned to Ustream, iTunes, and follow us on Twitter. And you can find me at JackieAtHome.com. And thank you so much, Mari Fagel, my partner in crime, my favorite, one of my favorites, just not to make Brittany feel bad, AfterBuzz co-host. Thanks, Mari, for joining me.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.